So happy holidays from us here at Solo Printing. This is our final podcast of the year as we wrap up the year. We've done a handful so far this year, so happy to be wrapping up the year and kind of starting fresh in 2025. So I'm Robert Hernandez, VP here at Solo Printing.
And I'm Lorenzo Cosio. Thank you for joining us. I'm your seasoned account executive here at Solo Printing. So welcome to our holiday special.
Yep. So today, on today's podcast, we're going to be covering some of the ROI that print collateral could produce and provide, based on this is kind of the peak season for the print world, and just in volume and everything. So that's kind of what we're going to cover today in our Power of Commercial Print podcast. This is really the ROI and kind of how we see here at Solo it could help justify the spend of print.
Yeah. As you can tell, the last several weeks, I think we all notice, and especially in our mailboxes, the amount of collateral and marketing material that's coming out, bombarding us with catalogs. But more importantly, you see it in the digital space, right? We get bombarded every day on our phones, our iPads, our computers. Everything is just these digital advertisements. So that's where the importance of following it up with the printed catalog in your mailboxes really makes a difference to kind of make that advertisement stick at the end.
Yeah. So that, whether it's email or on your social media accounts, you're getting hammered left and right. So that's where a physical piece, a print piece, comes into play, especially if you're mailing it. Like for example, stats I have here. I mean, where's that stat? It's there's the touch and feel still does do something, right? So I think it's a component that they all work together. Your digital and your physical. But if that person doesn't get that physical, I mean, why would they go to the website? I personally don't look at any of the emails I get that I see right off the bat are kind of marketing emails, unless it's very specific companies that I buy from constantly. So I personally don't do it, and most people I talk to is like it's overwhelming. It's too much.
It is. I think we touched base on it before, man. Yeah. It's overwhelming. The amount of things that we get on our phones and all our devices is just it's dominating our feeds, and it's overwhelming. So having that printed piece that you do business with in the past, or even people that are similar competition, but you're getting that in the mail, makes a real big difference. That comes to us in our mailboxes, and when that email is already deleted, long and gone, you get something in the mail and it hangs around in your house, for an average, whatever it is, it's like an average of 15 to 17 days. That catalog stays in our house till we put it in the recycling bin. That's a big marketing tool for our customers.
Yeah. And again, it's they go hand in hand. I don't think you could have one without the other. Print does have a higher cap cost, to get in. Postage is a big factor, which is pretty expensive. Yeah. But statistics show the return is there, and it's, if you go percentage wise, it's way better than email marketing, for example. So couple different things that I think could help generate a better ROI is pieces that stand out. If you want, a couple ideas that we do here, and it's just people throughout the industry do. Kind of with finishes and things like that.
Yeah, we want obviously you have to do both. All our customers do both. They do the digital space. They do that, but they also follow up with something in their hands that a customer can get in their hands, touch and feel it. But you brought up a great point. Once that does get in their mailbox and gets in their hands, what's going to get them to drive open that catalog or that envelope? It has to be something that's going to catch their eye, or touchy feel that you want to open it and, wow, this is catching my attention. Let me spend a couple extra seconds or minute looking at what's in this and how they're going to, how that marketing message is going to get into that consumer's hands.
So I mean, there's there's die cutting, coatings, UV coatings. I mean, there's all types of specialty things that you can put on a piece. For example, something that comes to mind that I get constantly is from credit card companies. They do a really good job marketing. It's
Yes,
It
it
gets me to open it, but I'm in the print world, so I don't know if it's me. But it's a nice. It's usually a nice high end. Looks real high end envelope with like a soft touch and
Yep.
spot UV, and then the collateral inside. But I personally open it just to kind of see what's in there.
I do. Me too.
And I would think, based on the amount that I see in the mail, that there is these huge companies see a good return, which shows you why it still works.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There's a stat that direct mail campaigns, on average, direct mail campaigns generate 29% ROI. That's huge. So for between a $3 and a $9 revenue on every dollar spent. So
It's huge.
I mean, the spend is higher again, but I mean, it's the
Yep.
stats are there. So I mean, it still has it still works. So and holiday season we get bombarded.
Yeah.
As you said. So that's the peak season for most retail, and that's where they make their
I
money.
think so. I think so.
So it's really thinking about it. If you're a marketing professional, is what's the best way to generate some the business, and I think you need both.
And if you look at all the big players we get bombarded with their stuff in the mailboxes, right? It's working for them.
Yeah.
Now they have a good message, they have a big brand, but they're still doing it
Yeah.
on a really large
We have
scale.
the big ones. I mean,
Yeah.
I got something in the mail from Amazon the other
There
day.
you go.
Amazon's full digital. Why
Yeah.
are they doing it? I mean, and I think they know what they're doing.
100%.
The Targets of the world. I mean, they're Wayfair. All these
Bass
huge
Pro Shops. Don't forget Bass Pro
Pro.
Shops.
All these huge online, and there's online and brick and mortar, but mostly online.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they're not just focusing on digital. So
100%.
it's here. It's here to stay. I mean, everybody that stat, print's dead. I just think it's changed a lot, and it's going to continue changing, and we got to get more targeted. Which is what we've done. As a company, as an industry, is kind of show our customers how to be more targeted to your captive audience. So.
Actually, that's a great segue because that's a great segue into the next thing, which it has to be both. It has to be targeted, right? And that's some of the things that the market has gone towards, right? We're still doing print and volume, maybe smaller volumes than before, but what are we doing? We're drilling into that data that we have, that digital data that we have, and then we're finding ways to really go after the consumer. That's where the digital printing, the variable data printing, all that stuff comes into play on how we can really focus and drill into where is our best dollars being spent.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And there, kind of another tad bit to get, that we could do is, that the BDP is a big part of that, so personalization, put somebody's name on it, kind of,
Oh, yeah.
my name's on this piece,
oh yeah.
um,
And that's when, when you talk about the credit cards, that's why I always open up those envelopes too, because there's so much VDP in there. They have so much data on each and
it's kind of scary.
a
but
little, it is, right?
Yeah.
But my name is painted throughout the content of that, and they have data that's out there. It's public information for the most part, and it's cool. It kind of makes us aware that we do need both. We do need the digital advertisement, digital content, but man, at the same time, that's coming into our mailboxes. I'm opening it, and I'm a printer. Yeah, like you said, we're looking at it to get ideas, but also these are what big companies are doing and are very efficient, and it's very effective, and it's the ROI is there. That's why they're sending it out.
That's why they're doing it.
That's
So,
why
yeah, and I mean, it's not, like a lot of people think of junk mail, I don't think catalog season, which is kind of end of the year, is junk mail. I mean, I think you got to put a little bit of time, a little bit of effort into designing something that has a purpose, it's intentional and stands out for however it needs to. But
Yep.
It's not like we're going to print on newsprint or toilet paper for that say and just send
Yeah.
something and somebody's going to look at it. I mean,
Those days are gone.
you send something like that, you know where it's going to
No,
go.
absolutely. Those days are gone.
Nobody's going to take 5
That's
minutes
right.
to look at it. So,
You're right.
couple other things that kind of the next little area to get into, which is something we have here, is kind of how do you combine your print piece like with a digital aspect? So like we have SP Direct. If you want to cover a little on that,
Yeah, I think
that's
it's
a good engine for us to use.
Yeah, I think our customers, and I think the whole market knows the value of using both. You got to have the digital aspect of it. You got to have the data. You have to have the touches on Facebook, on Instagram. All that has to be, integrated and kind of create that combination, that symphony of all that. And then they followed up at the end with the print, basically knowing this is what you got in your email and your Instagram feed, your Facebook. You have those Google ads following you around, and then it gets followed up with that printed message, kind of really driving it home. And it has to be both. And our customers, all our big customers in the market, they do that. They have to find a way to be able to utilize all those tools and find the right message. But you said it right. You have to have that right message. That message has to be good and clear, something that's going to drive that consumer to either a click and or open up. In our case, open it up, and then make that decision. I think we've talked about it in the past. It's normally 5 to 7 touches that before a customer actually makes a decision. So the first couple, 3 or 4, may be on the iPad, the phone, and our laptops, but the last one normally is the one that drives it home, which is getting something in the mail and say, hey, Lorenzo, I saw you looking at this cooler. Here's an offer.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh my gosh, boom.
Yeah, that's where data comes in. Heavy data. So we have platforms. We have some, and there's platforms all over the industry that integrate your piece to then like you're showcasing this piece pen. Use that pen on the other on all the other hits that we're doing, social hits, and then obviously if you have enough data and they went in and they actually looked at this, and you could send them something like, hey, I get the emails like that. I put something in the cart, I don't buy it, and 5 minutes later, for the next 2 weeks, I'm getting an email. Hey, you forgot your cart. So, that's annoying. But
here I'll share something personal, because my wife and I were shopping for furniture, and it's funny because we got a furniture catalog from one of the big players, and he got it, and then we started going to different places, and that was one of them. But man, it just followed us around everywhere we went until we made a decision. That all the other competitors were kind of following us around digitally. It was like you said, it's a little kind of creepy a little bit, right? Because it's so much data out there. But man, it works. It really works, and it also worked because I got a catalog, and my wife looked at it and said, "Hey," and it was all those pieces kind of worked out.
So the catalogs. I mean, I guess you've seen they've reduced in size and page count, for example. Again, very intentional from the marketing side. I mean, you don't need to produce a 500-page catalog with every single product you have. The whole point is produce something that's going to intrigue somebody to take the next step or take an action. And it's just, again, a tool to get somebody to make the final decision.
Yeah.
Again, very more targeted, I think, is a key here, and kind of direction the industry's going, is just targeted and really generating and get as much data as you can on that consumer.
Yep.
So I mean, and a catalog or a nice brochure. I mean, that somebody gets it. They like it. They may leave it on the coffee table. They may leave it in the kitchen for a couple days. And they'll flip through it, and so it lasts a lot longer than somebody going online and then something else happens and boom, that's
gone.
it. You just went somewhere to another website, and on my phone I have probably about 100 windows open on my browser of things that I started looking at, and then I go on to something else, and maybe I'll go back at some point, but I usually don't. So if I had something in my hand, I'll probably throw it there on my desk at my house or in the kitchen, and probably eventually I'll see it again and I'll
come back to it.
Forgot about that.
That's a great point. The longevity of it, right? You said it perfectly. You got 100 things on your phone, and it's the next one. It's the next one, and that's gone. But that longevity of having that piece at your house, the coffee table, the kitchen, wherever we're doing our stuff, they kind of you keep it because you'll get back to it. But the longevity is there. Yeah. The iPhones in and out. It's done. It's gone.
Yeah.
So we got to remind our customers, hey, the longevity of that piece. It's not just for the holiday season. It's going to last past that holiday season, because we're all consumers, right? We know what happens after Christmas. Everything goes on sale.
Yeah.
Having that as a reminder,
big time.
You go back to it and you say, man.
Even so, that brings another good point. I mean, it's even advantageous, I think, to maybe on a smaller scale hit customers again in January, maybe February. Kind of like overstock items or things. They're still producing things. They're still looking to buy things. Hopefully they didn't spend all their money for Christmas, but they got a little bit left over and they could buy a little more. And, it's kind of a year-long thing. It's just really Q3, Q4 get smashed with a lot of information. So
Yeah.
I think the key takeaway here is really print is not dead, as they've said over the course of many years. It still has its role in the marketplace. Yes, it has a higher price tag, I guess, than some of the other avenues, but the statistics are there, the percentages are there, the ROI is there.
It is. That's data. That's real data.
It's hard data. Yeah.
It's hard data.
It's not somebody making it up. But.
And again, let's look at the players that are still doing it. These guys are not in the business for. They're not doing it for.
They're not brick and mortar. They're 100% online.
Absolutely.
And they are spending a lot of money
Yep.
on pushing direct mail out to the
Yes, they are.
customers.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
So it's here to stay. So
Yeah. Amen.
I don't know. You have any other topics?
No, I think the holiday season is always. We've been busy. We've been blessed. It's been
yeah,
busy.
yeah.
The last 6-8 weeks we've been really busy. So and I'm pretty sure the whole market has, because we see it in our
I've
mailboxes.
heard, our peers that I've talked about, in our area and outside. I mean, it seems like everybody's thriving, which is excellent to see that the business is still cranking. We've been,
Yeah.
blessed and slammed.
Yeah.
with it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, it is.
It's a struggle. It's a daily struggle to make sure we keep everybody happy and keep everything flowing. But it's a good problem to
Yeah,
have, right?
that's right. That's right.
But no, I think as like we said, this would be kind of holiday, our holiday edition.
Yeah.
And
Thanks for putting up with us for the last couple of segments that we've done. I think we're hopefully getting better at it, a
hope
little
so.
smoother at it. But I think we all know that print is a really important part of the whole marketing aspect of it, and hopefully what we're sharing with you guys kind of helps clear it up a little bit.
Yeah. So I appreciate support over the course of this year, and we look forward to having some additional topics going forward. If you do have any topics you'd like to hear about, we'll be all ears and be open to hearing some ideas and different topics. So we don't run out of ideas or start kind of running over our own ideas again. So happy holidays to everybody out there, and looking forward to a great 2025.
Amen. Happy holidays, everybody.